Welcome back to the Operation Freedom YouTube channel. What we do here is shine the light of truth on the deep state. They hate that. We do it figuratively with our presentations. We do it literally with our sponsor's product, PatriotLegacy.com. PatriotLegacy.com, featured product of theirs, the Patriot Beacon. 6 overall lighting functions. In addition, solar powered, don't need batteries. You can charge your other devices like your phone from it. In addition, you got a compass, you got a window breaking hammer, and you got a seatbelt cutter. Plus, if those deep state dweebs get just a little bit too close to you, blast them with this. They're gone. Go to patrioticlegacy.com, patrioticlegacy.com. Get yourself, your kids, your grandkids, your car. Can carry it with you anytime. patrioticlegacy.com, the Patriot Beacon. President Trump, over the past several years, has spoken about the endless wars the United States has been involved with. Endless wars that were started by deep state puppets and the deep state itself. He's spoken about extrication of United States forces out of these endless wars. He made a move a couple weeks ago about moving our troops. And depending on the number, you've heard numbers of 28, 30, 50, 100, up to 1,000, up to 2,000, out of harm's way. He's gotten a lot of grief. A lot of critics, such as Mitt Romney, Never Trumpers, neocons, Brennan, Clapper, saying this is a terrible move. Oh, it's a terrible move. Do you realize they're saying that this is going to destabilize the Middle East? Really? You mean more than they already did? Just ask the people of Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, how stable things are under the deep state plan. But all those who were critics of President Trump and him ending these endless wars, where were these critics when weapons were being run by Obama and Clinton to weaponize, to empower ISIS? Yeah. And then we had this former CIA official, Morell, who is a deep stater for decades. He was out last week tooting his horn, on either, CNN, MSNBC, whatever it might be, whatever deep state channel you want to choose. He was on. And he started talking about, this is going to empower ISIS, and al-Baghdadi is going to get more power, and there's going to be a resurgency of ISIS, and it's going to. Which brings me to this past Saturday, August 26th. Late that evening, President Trump put out a tweet, something very big just happened, and he's going to make a major announcement Sunday, October 27th, as you know, around 9 a.m. What that announcement was about Operation Kayla Mueller. Kayla Mueller's parents reportedly have said that they're grateful for what occurred this past weekend. You see, what happened this past weekend is President Trump was cleaning up yet another Obama deep state mess. He was putting the finishing touches on what the deep state created, that being ISIS. Why was the operation named Kayla Mueller? Kayla Mueller was kidnapped while she was a worker at a refugee center at the border between Turkey and Syria, and she was kidnapped in 2013 by ISIS. She reportedly was tortured. She was imprisoned. She was actually serially raped, according to witnesses, by al-Baghdadi himself. And reportedly, there are some folks that say that she died in an air raid, but according to witnesses on the ground, she reportedly died at the hands of al-Baghdadi. And she was killed in 2015. The operation, which was launched this past weekend, was entitled Operation Kayla Mueller. in honor of her. Al-Baghdadi, history on this dude. He was arrested on February 2nd, 2004. He was imprisoned in Abu Ghraib by us and then Camp Bucca. And because he was deemed by the powers that be, and this would be the Bush administration, and remember what I've always told you, Bushes are deep state, as are Clintons, as are Obamas. They're all puppets. So this shouldn't surprise you. That in December of 2004, where George W. Bush was still president, it was deemed that al-Baghdadi was a, quote, low-level risk, end quote, and he was released. 2004. December. There are some folks that say he was released during the Obama administration, not according to my sources and not according to the documentation. 2004. And he rose to power in the Al-Qaeda network and then was named the, whatever you want to call it, chief schmo of ISIS. Now, there are some folks, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with doubting anything. There's nothing wrong with that and asking questions. There are some folks that, I mean, look, I am guilty. In May of 2011, when Obama announced that Osama bin Laden had been taken captive and had been killed, I doubted that. And I doubt that to this day. Just look at how it was handled afterwards. Let's just leave my sources out of this, so what I've been told. Just look at how that was. The strict Muslim ritual of burying the body at sea. What? Come on, man. Who are you expecting to believe? Are you going to expect us to believe that? No pictures of the body. Right. It's a guy you put billions of dollars in to reportedly find. This is a guy, I can tell you as a physician, who was diagnosed he had Marfan syndrome, which is a connective tissue disease that, guess what? Rumor had it he had significant kidney issues as far back as, significant kidney issues as far back as 2001. And remember what I brought up before about the murder of SEAL Team 6, of the team that supposedly killed him. Why were all they murdered? So many people have questions about this al-Baghdadi death this weekend. Did a little work on it. Because many people say, wait a minute, it's been said he's died before. Whoa. Good point. In March of 2015, it was reported that he was wounded in an attack and actually confirmed by ISIS itself that he actually had been taken out of the battlefield and actually was in the process of recovery, and it was an extended recovery. Then it was reported that he was wounded again in June of 2016 in another attack and possibly killed. That was never confirmed. Never confirmed. Then Russia stated they felt he had been killed in June of 2017. However, the United States and other countries around the world could not confirm that fact, and in fact felt that that was a wrong assessment by the Russians. But this is the first time, October 27, 2019, when President Trump came forward and said that al-Baghdadi was dead. Now, to those who think, well, he's just trying to manipulate the country by making this announcement. Okay, look. Love or hate Donald Trump, he's not a dumb man. He's incredibly intelligent. You don't do what he's done just in the business world without being incredibly smart. I know. Hard for some folks to internalize. You don't do what he did in the construction world You don't become president, being a non-politician, without having some significant insight into the world and intellect. Look, this guy cannot even make a phone call without people trying to annihilate him, right? He made a phone call on July 25th and was talking to his Ukrainian ambassador about looking at the 2016 election because he mentioned the word which drives the deep state nuts. And just listen to that interview I did with Benny and Kirk Wiebe. CrowdStrike. That's what sent them all nuts and off their gourd. He can't even mention something related to the 2016 election and the fraud that was perpetrated by the deep state and try to get their little puppet Hillary into power. Do you think he would knowingly go along with something like this when he can't even make a phone call? Everything he does is leaked? According to my sources, this event happened. Now, do we still keep an open judgment and say, "Wait, the timing's kind of interesting"? Sure, that's fine. But let me tell you something. If this was a fake, boy, I'll tell you, that's beyond a dumb move on his part. And he's not a dumb guy. According to my sources, it happened. As I understand it, that the last documented video evidence of al-Baghdadi still being alive was in April of 2019. So it appears he was alive, at least on video documentation, confirmed, as of April 2019. According to my sources, you can question the timing all you want. I get it. Nothing wrong with that. But according to the sources I have, this event occurred. Operation Kayla Mueller. And Baghdadi was killed. How did the bought-off lamestream fake media that's owned by the deep state handle this? Headline: Washington Post publishes... Okay, now remember, al-Baghdadi. Operation Kayla Mueller. Why? She was a relief worker, United States citizen who was kidnapped, tortured, imprisoned, serially raped by al-Baghdadi himself. And then, as I said, according to people on the ground, killed by al-Baghdadi. Okay? Washington Post publishes, I guess this shouldn't surprise anybody, but al-Baghdadi headline referring to ISIS leader al-Baghdadi as an austere religious scholar. An austere religious scholar who happens to kidnap women, serially rape women, imprison women, torture women, kill women. This scum, reportedly when he died, took 3 of his kids with him. Austere religious scholar. You really want to still read the Washington Post? Oh, but it's not just them. How about Bloomberg Politics? Islamic State leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, ready for this? Transformed himself from a little-known teacher of Quranic recitation into the self-proclaimed ruler of an entity that covered swaths of Syria and Iraq. Where's the murder, kidnapping, torture, imprisonment of other innocent individuals in that statement? Yeah. It's interesting, when President Trump spoke about the end for Benghazi, al-Baghdadi, which was really the cleanup operation for Benghazi. President Trump described al-Baghdadi as fleeing U.S. forces, quote, as opposed to how the deep state wants you to remember him as an austere religious scholar. Did this scholar take his Quran or his books with him when he went into that tunnel? No, he took 3 kids. Scum. Here's how he described President Trump. The end for al-Baghdadi, and the end as it relates to Benghazi, courtesy of Obama and Clinton. Quote, he was whimpering and crying and screaming all the way, end quote, detonating his suicide vest and killing himself and his 3 young children he was dragging along with him. Reportedly, one of the dogs that accompanied the special forces that chased him into the tunnel was injured in the process. Reportedly, that dog is still alive. Dogs should get a Medal of Honor. I'm serious. What's the bottom line to all this? What's the bottom line? The bottom line is our country is safer today than it was when President Donald J. Trump was sworn into office. And I truly believe that would not be the case if Hillary Clinton was the one being sworn into office in January of 2019. Why do I believe that? A multitude of reasons. But just look at the one we discussed today. Hillary Rodham Clinton and her buddy Barack Obama were responsible for weaponizing, empowering ISIS. The same ISIS that was led by al-Baghdadi, who had a penchant for kidnapping and torturing, imprisoning, serially raping, and murdering women. Our country is much safer today than if Hillary Rodham Clinton was in power. Or frankly, any of these people running on the D side of the ledger for president, and anyone else I can imagine on the R side of the ledger. Network this information to anyone and everyone you know. The bought-off lamestream fake media won't touch it. But the more people we have educated to the facts before the November 2020 election, the better for our country, and the better for the future of our country. I thank you for your time. You can join us on our radio show every Sunday, 2 to 5 Eastern. You can join us, davejanda.com. Remember, there might be a little downtime on Tuesday when we switch server companies. I hope you become a subscriber to our service. Extra content, extra shows, great insight, great guests, great analysis. And if you haven't seen the interview with Bill Binney and Kirk Wiebe that we just uploaded yesterday on this platform, please do so. It's really, really important for you and for you to network and for the future of our country. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thank you for your time today.